So in this video, I would like to show you how to create a template for writing a screenplay. I'm just using Pages because I don't have Word, but it will be exactly the same. Everything will just be in a different spot. And then to save some time, I have already created the elements that we need. Scene heading, action, character, parenthetical, dialogue, and transition. Everything in your screenplay is going to follow the format of these elements. So after you're done with that, the first thing you're going to want to do is change your font from the default to Courier. Now you're also going to want to change the font size to 12 point. This will make the whole thing easier to read. Now the next thing you do is go to the Document tab. All of the margins down here are basically correct, except for the left margin, which you want to go to 1.5 inches. This is to give you enough leeway when you 3-hole punch your script. Now another important part is the page numbers. You want to start with 1, and you always want a period afterward. But the first page doesn't actually have a number on it. So we go back to Document, we go to Section, hide on first page of section. So now page 2 will have the first number, which is as it should be. Okay, so let's go first to scene heading. Now there isn't a whole lot to change here. What you want to do is go to this icon right here, go down to capitalization, all caps. That's basically it. But you go to layout, you just keep these at 0, 0, and 0 because it's just 1.5 inches and you're fine. Now we go to action, which is basically the same thing. 0, 0, 0 for the indent. Style, go to this symbol, and now we have no capitalization selected, which is what you want. There are no caps for the action. Now things are going to change a little bit because we do have some indents to do. Character, you go to that symbol again. That is all caps. Layout. Now to make things easier, let's go Command R and get the rulers so we can see what we're doing, but I'm not going to actually use the ruler. So with the character indent, you want to go 3.7 inches in, but I don't want to actually go 3.7 here. I want to go, I'm just typing in 2.2, and then I will do the same for this. So now we update this. Now let's move on to the dialogue. Now the character is 3.7 inches in, but the dialogue is supposed to be 2.5 inches in. So since we're already at 1.5, we just need to go up to 1. So let's update that and go to the next one, which is parenthetical, which actually goes in between character and dialogue. And this is 3.1 inches in. Or in other words, when you indent, 1.6. Now let's go to transition. We have to go and change this one to all caps as well. Now this is far over to the right. It's actually 6 inches away. So in order to get to 6 inches, we're already at 1.5. We actually want to go to 4.5, which will make 6. You can do all this with the ruler, but this is a little more accurate for me. The ruler is just for a visual representation. So we update that, and now we want to worry about the spacing of everything. Okay, so first we're going to go, of course, with scene heading. Go back to the Style tab. Now how it works is that this right here where it says lines is going to be within the paragraph itself. So you can just keep this at 1, and that just means when you keep typing it automatically goes down to the next line. It won't be double spaced. But you do want it to be double spaced when you're going from an action or another element to a scene heading. So in that case, you're going to want to change this, which is the before paragraph, to 24. Since we are in 12 point, that will be 2 spaces. Update that because that's all we're going to need to do for the spacing of scene heading. So with the action element, again, you're going to want to keep the line spacing at 1, but you want to change the before paragraph and the after paragraph to 12 point. So you have 1 space before and after that element. We'll update. Now we go to character. This one you can just keep as, again, 1 line, and then before and after paragraph will stay at 0. Because between character and parenthetical, or character and dialogue, you don't need double spacing. You don't want double spacing. So now with parenthetical, it's exactly the same. 1, 0, and then 0. So you have no space between character and parenthetical. Now we will go to dialogue. Dialogue, you do want to change a little bit. You want to change the after paragraph to 12. Update that. You change it to 12 after paragraph, so you do have spacing between that and the next element that you use. Now we'll go to the last one, transition. This one can also stay the same at 1, 0, and 0. Now let's put this into action. We'll just write whatever. I'll just write interior classroom. So let's just write a pretty long action line. And as you can see, it's just going down 1 space. So as you can see, we have the proper spacing between these 2 elements. So we've got that. Now let's return and let's do a scene heading again. Because then you can see that now we have 2 spaces separating the action line and the scene heading, which is what we wanted. I go here, exterior, so let's do another element. Let's do character. Now that we see this, I think we should make some adjustments. I believe the before paragraph should be changed. That looks better. Now let's go to dialogue. Now let's put a parenthetical here, just to see what that does. These are really not necessary to put in, but all that looks to be in order. I will just delete that. Now let's look at this as it relates to an action line. That seems to be in order too. Now let's make transition. Again, that looks good. There are some tweaks maybe we should make. For instance, to the dialogue, if we go back to layout, perhaps we should set the right also to 1. I think the dialogue should not stretch as far as the action lines. So now if you want to create a template out of this, we'll just select all, delete, because we don't need the text to be part of the template. So now if you want to add this as a template, you go to File, Save as Template, Add to Template Chooser. Now I've already got my own template, so I'm not going to save this again, but you would just save it as whatever you would like. It's a film script. You could say screenplay. It should be specific, especially if you decide to do templates for a teleplay or a stage play. There will always be a different format. So I will just cancel. And that is how you create a template for your screenplay. If there is anything that is incorrect, please feel free to let me know down in the comments. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.